This is The Noon.
Our top stories at noon. President Trump and China's President Xi holding talks to finalize a TikTok deal to allow the social media app to keep operating in the U.S. But first, late-night hosts reacting to the Kimmel controversy as a debate over free speech in America. Welcome to The Noon. And Bianca Peters. We're now hearing from Jimmy Kimmel's late-night colleagues. Fox 5's Linda Schmidt is live in the newsroom. And Linda, what's the very latest on this?
Well, there's a lot going on with this today there, Bianca. First of all, there are demonstrations happening at various locations across the country, including right here in New York at ABC's headquarters. You're seeing that video, which is right to my side there. That's going on right now. A Fox 5 camera crew on the ground at that demonstration right now. Now, the Writers Guild Union is blasting ABC and its owner, Disney, for suspending Jimmy Kimmel's show. Now, some freedom of speech experts, comedians and late-night talk show hosts who are still on the air, coming out in full force in support of Jimmy Kimmel. Disney suspended his show indefinitely after comments he made in his monologue on Monday night about the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Now, critics are saying that Disney and media networks are caving to the Trump administration, which they say is censoring them. Well, last night, several late-night comedians addressed the issue, and of course, you know, naturally, they had to throw in some humor with it. Jon Stewart was on The Daily Show, and you're going to hear from him in just a moment, but I'm bringing him up because he's the last person you're going to hear from, and he was poking fun at the president's trip to the UK.
Well, guys, the big story is that Jimmy Kimmel was suspended by ABC after pressure from the FCC, leaving everyone thinking WTF. I don't know what's going on, and no one does, but I do know Jimmy Kimmel, and he's a decent, funny, and loving guy, and I hope he comes back.
And as part of this historic trip, the perfectly tinted Trump dazzled his hosts at dinner with a demonstration of unmatched oratory skill.
I just want to say before we get started here that I've always admired and respected Mr. Trump. I've always believed he was, a visionary, innovator, a great president, an even better golfer. And if you've ever seen me say anything negative about him, that's just AI.
Okay, now Seth Meyers on NBC and Jimmy Fallon on NBC. President Trump tweeted out, or he posted on Truth Social earlier this week, that NBC should fire them as well, or pull their shows as well, as ABC has now done with Jimmy Kimmel. Now, at this point, we do not know exactly when Jimmy Kimmel's show will be back on the air, but the debate about the First Amendment rights, it is once again extremely heated, Bianca.
That's absolutely right. All right, Linda, thanks so much. Also making news at noon, Mayor Adams and NYPD officials touting a major reduction in crime. Mayor Adams says that there has been an 18% drop in crime in areas considered historically violent during the summer. He also says there were drops across the board in major felonies like murder, rape, robbery, felony assault, burglaries, and grand larcenies. But officials say they also saw a 10% drop in crime on some of the most violent sections of the Bronx. Mayor Adams says gun arrests in those parts of the Bronx went up by 66%. The son of the woman known as Mama Z was on hand to speak on gun violence.
Gun violence doesn't just take lives. It steals futures. It shatters families. It leaves communities with wounds that never truly heal.
Well, the shooting death of the beloved Ksenia Métis, also known as Mama Z, stunned the Harlem community this spring. The 61-year-old was gunned down by a stray bullet. All right, developing news this morning. Police in Brooklyn are looking for the suspect after a woman is killed in a hit and run. This happened just before 5:30 this morning on Eastern Parkway in the Schenectady Avenue in Crown Heights. Police say an 18-wheeler was traveling eastbound on Eastern Parkway when the driver struck that victim and drove off. The woman was pronounced dead at the scene. Some more developing news now at noon. Several headlines coming out of a morning call between President Trump and China's President Xi. One of the focuses, this is a deal to keep TikTok up and running. Fox News' Antoine Lewis joins us now live in studio with the very latest on all of this. Antoine.
Bianca, this conversation has been a long time coming, and here's what I can report so far. White House officials saying that the president had a phone call around 8 this morning with China's President Xi Jinping. The two are expected to finalize a deal that will allow the social media app TikTok to continue operating here in the United States. Trump has threatened to ban TikTok unless its parent company sells its controlling interest to American investors. The White House has extended the deadline for this to happen at least 4 times. And despite strained relations at the moment between the two countries, Trump has actually expressed a willingness to negotiate with President Xi.
I like TikTok. It helped get me elected. It sounds like they've approved TikTok, and TikTok is a tremendous amount of money for the United States, so that was nice. But we'll see how that all works.
Now, there are reports that the tech giant Oracle could be actually among the companies overseeing TikTok if it happens. But we do expect more information on the president's phone call with President Xi this afternoon. That's my story. I'll be covering it, and we'll keep you up to date, B.
All right, Antoine, thanks so much for that. Let's turn now to weather to see what's in store for us this afternoon and this weekend. Let's bring Liv Johnson at the Weather Center. Feeling like a beautiful summer Friday. I was already out and about this morning getting some workouts in, and I was like, woof, we are setting up a storm.
I know it is really going to be a hot one if you're out doing something like working out, but then it's a bit of a whiplash situation because we cool down for the weekend. So yeah, yesterday was already a warm day, and we're 5 degrees warmer than 24 hours ago, 7 if you're out east on Long Island. So already crossing into the 80s. 80 for New York City right now, 81 for Long Island, upper 70s for Hartford and Poughkeepsie. We have 81 down the shore in New Jersey and 84 for Newark. So we're well above average really for this time of year. And we're about at our high of the day. We might squeeze out a couple more degrees, but most of us land in the low to mid 80s. We're supposed to just be in the upper 70s down the shore, but we've already crossed to 80 degrees for Belmar. We're expecting about 79 to 80 for Hartford, Poughkeepsie up to 80, and Monticello will be in the mid 70s for your afternoon high. Now, dew point temperatures, though, aren't too bad. So we get the heat, but we don't get the humidity, and that's going to make for a really comfortable afternoon. It's also not too windy out there, but it is going to be breezy tomorrow, plus a lot cooler, and I'll have more on that later in the show. Bianca?
All right, sounds great, Liv. Thanks so much. To this now, New York City has filed another amicus brief supporting California Governor Gavin Newsom's ongoing case against the federal government for deploying the National Guard to Los Angeles. So in this brief, New York joins a coalition of 36 other localities from across the country. The brief contends cities, not military, hold lawful expertise and authority over domestic law enforcement and are better suited to ensure public safety while protecting First Amendment rights. Meanwhile, New York City Council taking a closer look at the city's response to the recent Legionnaires outbreak in Harlem. Next at noon, what you need to know about today's oversight hearing hosted by the Council's Committee on Health. Plus, we're following some breaking news on Capitol Hill. The House passing a bill to avoid a partial government shutdown. We are tracking the very latest coming up at 12:15. Stay with us. Well, the New York City Council holding an oversight hearing on the recent Legionnaire's disease outbreak. Council members saying that they are introducing pieces of legislation aimed at preventing future outbreaks. The legislation would address bacteria in internal water systems, so it also require building owners to do a better job of managing these systems. Another piece of legislation would address bacteria in cooling towers. Building owners would be required to inspect the towers more often and specifically during heat waves. This comes following a recent outbreak in Harlem, which claimed 7 lives. All right, to the very latest now in the race for New York City mayor. All 4 candidates hitting the campaign trail today. Democratic candidate Zohran Mamdani will be campaigning in Manhattan. That's later today, where he'll be endorsed by New York State Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart-Cousins. This afternoon, Republican candidate Curtis Sliwa will be campaigning near the Gandhi statue in Union Square Park. And this afternoon, independent candidate Andrew Cuomo will be attending a prayer service at a mosque in Jamaica, Queens. And Eric Adams will be campaigning at an elderly care facility in the Bronx. And for more in-depth coverage of the race for mayor, keep it right here for Politics Unusual. That's at 6:30 tonight. You can also catch Battleground NYC, the fight for your vote, hosted by SC Cup. This streams every weeknight at 7 p.m. and on the Fox Local app from now until Election Day. And you can watch it right here on Fox 5 weeknights at 11, right after the 10 o'clock news. All right, some Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s new vaccine advisors meeting again today. Next at noon, how the group is weighing in on access to COVID-19 shots and newborn vaccines. Plus, why health experts say you should stay on alert for ticks even in the fall. Welcome back. Some breaking news for you. The House passes a bill to avoid a partial government shutdown on October 1st, but prospects in the Senate look dim. Today, the House passed the short-term spending bill just to extend government funding for 7 weeks. In the Senate, the two parties do not show any signs of budging on the matter. Democratic leaders are threatening a government shutdown if Republicans don't let them have a say on this measure. Some Democratic support will be needed to get a bill to President Donald Trump's desk for his signature. The vote was 217 to 212. Also developing, the CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices meets again today to determine who gets access to COVID-19 vaccines. The FDA recently put new restrictions on this year's shots from Pfizer, Moderna, and Novavax, reserving them for people over 65 or younger who are deemed at higher risk from the virus. The panel opened its meeting today with confusion over whether to end a long-standing CDC recommendation on that all newborns be vaccinated at birth against hepatitis B. And Bella Hadid explains that she's been absent from New York Fashion Week to recover from Lyme disease. The model posted photos to her Instagram from a hospital bed and hooked up to an IV. Her mom, Yolanda, posted Lyme Warrior. The CDC says Lyme disease is an infection that starts from a tick bite and can progress to serious chronic illness if left untreated. And speaking of that, tick season may be applying for an extension, as health and environmental experts say conditions in the fall are becoming more prime for these creatures to remain pretty active. Fox News correspondent Chanley Painter takes a closer look at the risks and one invasive species helping numbers to surge.
This year, we like to say it's a little tickier than past.
While the CDC says ticks are usually more active during the warmer months of April through September, health experts say exposure can happen year-round in portions of the country as rising average global temperatures help prolong the heat into the fall and can lead to shorter winters.
We did experience an increase in the number of ticks that we received for testing.
Teams at the Tick Research Lab of Pennsylvania say there's many different species that can transmit different diseases, with Lyme disease the most common.
Our most common tick that we get here in the Northeast and Pennsylvania is the black-legged tick. We've been seeing an increase in American dog ticks, as well as the Asian longhorn and the Lone Star tick.
The Asian longhorned tick in particular is causing headaches. The invasive species was first confirmed in the U.S. back in 2017 in New Jersey. Since then, it has spread to more than 20 states, and this July it was confirmed as far northeast as Maine.
It can reproduce without mating. So when she gets her full blood meal, she will produce viable eggs, and those will hatch into larval ticks. So they are very quick spreading.
And while Asian longhorned ticks tend to go after livestock,
we have seen a decent number of them also now attaching to humans as well as companion animals, so such as your dog or your cat or things like that.
Even if ticks aren't a high risk where you're from, health experts still urge caution if you're heading into a wooded area this fall to peep autumn leaves. I'm Chanley Painter, Fox News.
Well, take a look at this video of Hawaii's Kilauea volcano lighting up the sky in its latest eruption. The burst was the volcano's second episode this month and 33rd episode since December. That eruption was contained within the summit crater inside of Hawaii Volcano National Park. No homes or buildings were threatened by that lava, which is the good news there. Let's turn out to weather here to see what's in store for us this afternoon. Taking a lovely live look outside. Let's bring in Liv Johnson at the Weather Center for the full forecast. It's almost like we're just hanging on to the last couple days of summer.
And you know, we will hang on until the very, very bitter end. So yeah, we're in good company today. 84 degrees for our high. Plenty of sunshine. Most of us fall between 75 and 85, which is my perfect forecast. Some of y'all like it a little bit cooler, which I understand, but like I said, we're hanging on to summer. 80 degrees right now for New York and LaGuardia. We have 84 for Atlantic City, so it's heat up pretty quick. If you're down the shore, you can squeeze out a Friday beach day. Wind speeds right now, 5 to 15 miles per hour. That's pretty typical. It'll be pretty much the same throughout the day. Tomorrow, that's our really only the real weather thing going on is that we have some stronger wind gusts for our Saturday afternoon, and it's going to be a little bit cooler. So we saw 80 for New York, down in Philadelphia, 84. Up in New England, we have 78 for Boston, and other places in New York a little bit cooler. So Albany, 72, Buffalo, 66. In the Midwest, we have 76 for Cleveland, 82 for Columbus. So kind of a mix of 70s and 80s, and then most of us cool down for our Saturday. And because of that, is we have a cold front that's passing through right now, but we have high pressure below us and high pressure above us, so that's why we'll be dry for quite some time. We don't have to worry about any rain chances really until next Tuesday. So that cold front is going to pass through, but like I said, high pressure on either side, so that's going to give us plenty of sunshine for the weekend, just cooler temperatures due to that cold front. Lows tonight, 59 degrees. I mean, look it up in Poughkeepsie and Monticello. We get into the 40s, upper 50s out on Long Island. So it's going to happen during those overnight hours. The rest of today is pretty nice, but we drop about 11 degrees for our afternoon high. Tomorrow, just 73, cooler, breezy, and the official start to fall. 3 more days. It's Monday, September 22nd at 2:19 p.m. We stay cool on Sunday as well, just 72. But then for the start of fall, we warm up to 77. And like I said, our next rain chance is going to be Tuesday afternoon. Bianca?
All right, sounds good, Liv. Thanks so much. Meanwhile, some long lines this morning in Midtown for the highly anticipated launch of the iPhone 17. Next at noon, we are taking you to the Apple Store's big release to check out all the hype for the new high tech. Well, Apple CEO Tim Cook and Nick star Jalen Brunson on hand for the debut of the new iPhone 17. The two made a surprise appearance at Apple's flagship store on Fifth Avenue. Hundreds were on hand in the city and throughout the world for the new release. Apple says the base model of iPhone 17 is actually brighter. It's more scratch resistant as well. It also has a better front-facing camera that will improve the quality of selfies. All right, New Jersey homeowners and renters will be getting a bit of relief. This is thanks to a new tax rebate program. Starting this week, those eligible will start receiving payments as part of a new relief program. This is known as the Anchor program. There are certain restrictions, though, so to find out if you are eligible, head to nj.gov/treasury. The deadline to file for the program is October 31st. And portions and prices could be getting smaller at Olive Garden restaurants to attract budget-conscious diners. The restaurant chain says it has been testing out, quote, lighter portion entree options of 7 existing meals at a reduced price. They include spaghetti and meatballs, chicken parmigiana, and lasagna classico. The company says customers can still expect to receive unlimited breadsticks and soup or salad, even if they pick the reduced portion options. All right, American Express has revealed new upgrades to its Platinum credit cards, but it also is increasing the annual fee. The company announced that its Platinum cards will now offer credits for dining via restaurants, reservation service, Resi, as well as expanded hotel and entertainment perks. However, the cards will now cost $895 annually, which is a $200 increase. It comes as other financial companies such as Citigroup have been looking to compete with American Express in the premium credit card space. And a lesser-seen self-depiction of Frida Kahlo is going up for auction at Sotheby's in what could be a record-setting sale. El Sueño La Cama has an estimated price of $40 to $60 million. Painted in 1940, El Sueño shows the artist wreathed in vines, lying in a four-poster bed floating in a pale blue sky. A skeleton wired with dynamite and clutching a bouquet of flowers lies atop that canopy. Kahlo's painting is on show at Sotheby's in London until Tuesday and then goes on a world tour before the New York sale on November 8th. Well, humor and science taking center stage at the IG Nobel Awards. Researchers who analyze the most far-out things in science were named IG Nobel Award winners in Boston. Winners included a scientist who studied fingernails for 35 years and researchers who determined the effect women eating garlic had on nursing babies. The 35th annual IG Nobel Prize ceremony was organized by digital magazine's Annals of Improbable Research and often takes place weeks ahead of the announcements for the actual Nobel Prizes. Meanwhile, next at noon, dog lovers, listen up. We've got a new study listing the perfect place to live here in the city with your furry friend. So stick around to find out the top spot.
We know we can't change everything you don't like about shopping, but here at Stop & Shop, we're going all out to improve what we can.
Thank you.
We've seen you doing finger math in the store, but no more of that. You deserve a better way to save.
Heck yeah, I do.
With over 10,000 items always on sale, it's time we actually loved grocery shopping.
Justin, when was the last time you went on break?
I'm on break right now. With so many ways to save, good things are in store at Stop & Shop.
Fox Local.
All right, it is 12:30 right now. Welcome back to the Noon. We got a whole lot more coming up here. Starting with this, it's still Y2K week here on the Noon, and today we're headed to the mall. We're taking you to the mall. Well, kind of. So stay tuned for a food court competition celebrating the best bites of Y2K. Liv and I are doing this blindfolded. Lou's going to be a referee. It's going to be chaotic, and you do not want to miss this. Plus, from dating drama in the college football world to the Chiefs on a losing streak, Fox Eyes producer Lou Albanese and I have a lot to say in this week's Kicking and Screaming. But let's first get another live look outside on this Friday. No one's screaming about this. Or maybe me, because I'm actually so excited that
right, you're screaming
outside.
for joy.
I'm screaming for joy. I will be out and about today. I mean, give me anything above 80 and I will be screaming for joy.
Yeah, exactly. And we get back into the 80s next week, kind of. That's low true. 80s. So yeah, it gets cooler tomorrow, but we don't have to say goodbye to warm temperatures just yet. The sky is also going to stay clear. I mean, live picture after live picture just keeps getting better throughout the show. We started off warm today, and that's how we'll stay, but we kind of heat up quickly and then go back down quickly as we get into the evening and overnight hours, feeling like summer like we were just talking about, but cooler this weekend. So right now, 80 degrees in New York, Newark 84. We have low 80s for Long Island, mid to upper 70s throughout Connecticut. Bridgeport is 76, Hartford 77, Poughkeepsie 76. 80s down the shore would be beautiful to be by the beach, and 80 degrees for Trenton right now. Look at the rest of the country. I mean, we're not too far off from places in the southeast. We have 87 for Atlanta, 76 for Memphis down in New Orleans, 86. Much cooler temperatures for the western half of the country, but also they're still getting up and getting at it for their Friday. Down in Miami, 88. So we're not even too far off from Miami's current temperature. Then you look on our satellite radar. Another big difference between the West Coast and East Coast right now is how much action there is on the western half, but not so much on the eastern half. I mean, it's not too much, but it's just a bit more colorful than we have. We're all enjoying nice, clear skies and warm conditions for our Friday. Now, we took a look at this earlier, but just have to show that all we have is a cold front moving through. Sometimes there's showers ahead of or after those fronts, but not today. That cold front is going to make a difference temperature-wise, though. That's why we cool down so significantly for your Saturday and for your Sunday. You can still make those outdoor plans for the entire evening. By 8 o'clock, the sky will still be clear, and we'll be into the 70s or even into the 60s. So, like I said, it kind of starts to happen quickly. The warm-up happened quickly, but so does the cool down. Then for those overnight hours, when we wake up tomorrow, this is going to be shocking because if you're up a little early at 7 o'clock, I mean, look at Poughkeepsie, 50s, Monticello upper 40s. So we're going to go from mids to upper 70s in Monticello this afternoon to upper 40s in the morning, 60s down the shore and out east. And then most of us just kind of settle in the mid to upper 60s or low 70s, which is pretty appropriate for this time of year. It's just that we've been a little bit warmer than average. No rain chance until Tuesday. Even then, still kind of coming together. We'll see what we get, but it looks like second half of the day we could see some rain. Drought monitor isn't too bad yet. We are a little bit behind for what we usually see for rainfall, but so far drought conditions aren't too bad. Like I was talking about, those lows overnight are going to bite some of us. 46 for Poughkeepsie, 42 for Monticello. Most of us upper 50s, some of us low 60s, but then tomorrow we just get into highs in the low 70s or even mid to upper 60s. It's still a nice day, just not going to be as warm. We stay cool for Sunday. Ironically, the start of fall, we heat back up for 77, 82 on Tuesday, but then nice temperatures there too, Wednesday and Thursday back in the mid 70s. Bianca?
All right, looks good. Liv, thanks so much. To this now, New Yorkers have their opinions on where to find the city's best areas for families, food, and fun. But what about Fido? Fox 8's Jennifer Williams shows us the top neighborhoods for dog lovers, and this is according to one popular site.
Street Easy named the top 10 neighborhoods for dog lovers, and the Upper West Side easily made the cut.
Right, you got Central Park, you got Riverside Park, you got Dog Park here, Dog Park 10 blocks north. You know, I think in terms of greenery, space, dog-friendly, like establishments plus park space, I think there's no better place to have a dog in Manhattan, like easily.
I think it's probably the proximity to the park here and the fact that you can sort of walk out your front door and be out in nature very quickly. It's great for them. And he gets to chase all the squirrels he wants.
Well, we love that there are parks on both sides of the neighborhood and you can go kind of in any direction and get some good time outside up here.
Really the nature of people who live here is that we love living creatures who need to be loved as we do.
Pet expert Adrian Arden says the list is pretty spot on.
I've had a dog training business in New York City for over 35 years, and I would say that we pretty consistently see those neighborhoods being the spots where they are sort of like in the best sense of the word, the hot zones for pet parents.
Other neighborhoods who earn the honor include Dumbo, Long Island City, Astoria, and Mott Haven. The list was created by looking at the amount of pet-friendly units available, number of registered dog licenses, and access to dedicated dog parks and dog runs.
New York City dog people are really, really focused on making sure they give their pets the best quality of life possible. And I think part of that is they make an effort every day to make sure their dogs have really nice social encounters when appropriate, and that they give them walks that are really enriching, and that includes going to local parks.
Just like sitting at a dog park and relaxing is like a serotonin boost because you got the cute puppies and dogs that just come around and just like, what's not to love, right? Like dogs everywhere. It's a dream. It's like, this is what heaven looks like, right?
On the Upper West Side, Jennifer Williams, Fox 5 News.
Heaven looks like anywhere that you are with your dog. All right, we are going back in time to Y2K once again. Next at noon, we're going to go to your local mall to taste the cuisine of the food court. Doesn't it just bring back memories? Those three, Sbarro, Auntie Anne, Cinnabon. We're doing all of this with a fun game coming up after this. All right, we are continuing our Y2K week on the noon, and if you grew up back then, you know the real runway was not at Fashion Week. It was at the Food Court Mall. Forget designer labels. It was all about Sbarro's, Auntie Anne's, and Cinnabon.
And today, we've brought the holy trinity of mall food right into the studio, but instead of just eating them, we're turning it into a challenge. Blindfold taste test meets pin the food on the storefront.
I love this, and because Liv and I are way too competitive, we needed a referee.
That's
Lou.
me. I'm making sure they don't cheat. No cheating. No cheating, you two.
In front of us, there are three classic mall foods: pizza, pretzels, and cinnamon rolls. Liv and I are going to blindfold ourselves, taste a bite from each plate, guess what it is, and then, still blindfolded, have to try and pin it on the food right in the storefront, which is going to pop up behind us in a second. Liv, let's put the glasses on now.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Ready? Say when.
Go.
All right, here we go. There's the first one. What's it going to be?
Wait, well, do I open it?
No, you sit.
You tell
right
us
here.
where it is.
Right here. Up top, up top, up
this
top.
Way, right
up
here.
top, up top. Come on.
Okay.
Pizza. Okay. There you go. Now you got to find it. Good luck to that. Oh, okay. You're good. You're close. You're close. You're cold. You're hot. You're hot. You're hot. You're hot. You're hot. You're hot.
Who was you?
I don't know. He told you. He said I was hot.
All right. Here we go. Number two.
Next
Don't waste time. Here we go. To the left. You don't do it. I do it. Grab these. To the left. What are you doing? Stop cheating.
Oh. Cinnabon. Nice. Sweet.
Oh,
tasty.
there you go.
We love the
Cinnabon. Good luck to that.
Okay.
There you go.
You
Here's
got
your
your
sheet.
paper?
There you go.
Which way we go?
Nah, you're very cold. You're very cold. Nah, you're really cold. You're freezing. Atlantic. Up. You're getting hot. Yeah, keep going. No, you're still cold. One is hot, one is cold.
Is it good?
Nah, you're both good.
All
All right, now you can open this one.
Is it my favorite?
What is this?
Wait.
There's only one left. You can't forget
Is this? Wait.
What is it?
Auntie Ann Pete, what's that? Pretzels? Bessie pretzels.
Auntie Anne's pretzels.
There you go. Here you go. Get the cards. Here you go. Come on.
has
Who's
its
going to
own
get it?
taste.
Let's see who gets close. I'm not giving you any hints this time. Remember where you were.
What do you
What are you
mean?
doing? I'm not
Were you
giving you any
gonna
hints.
tell us
Cold.
yes or
You're
no?
really cold. You don't even remember where you went the last time. You're
I don't
really
even know
cold.
what the screen looks
What's
like.
wrong with you two? You're really cold. What are you doing?
I don't know.
Go. You're cold. Keep going.
To where?
There. Maybe. I'm not, you can't cheat. All right.
Good?
There you go. We're done. You'll see how
All
you
right.
did.
Whoa. All right. We love this.
Took you a half hour to realize where you were. That's
Our
for sure.
favorite one of all. We had to pick.
Oh.
It might be Auntie Anne's.
Auntie Anne's.
Save the best for
You guys,
last.
I have an Auntie Anne's perfume.
Please go ahead. This is a limited edition Auntie Anne's perfume
Smell
that I can't.
Is that not unreal?
It does smell like Auntie Anne's.
smells
We
like
love
pretzels.
it. You like it?
smell it?
Yeah, I can
He doesn't
smell
wear cologne, so give him a little spray.
Oh, man.
Just put up the
Yeah,
pits.
it smells like pretzels.
We like it. All right. So out of
It
all,
smells like
the mall
cinnamon bun.
foods, obviously this is where the hangout spot was.
Yeah.
What was your favorite mall food?
Oh, my favorite mall food?
Did they have malls back then?
Yeah, we had malls back then. I don't know if they had food, though. I don't think they fed us at the mall back then.
Ooh, that was a
Oh, that's true.
bird. Oh.
They made us been a mall with food.
What did you guys? They had
if I had
general
to pick,
stores
if I had
back
to
then.
pick one of the three, I'd go with the pretzels.
Yeah, here we
Pretzels.
go. We love it. We got the sweet Auntie
But
Anne's.
you're right.
We
I
appreciate
don't think there was mall food back then.
What did you guys have?
They had games.
He's like, they had the farmer's market.
They were hunting and gathering.
That's right. We had games. That's about it. The game was to figure out where you were.
We are not being ageist whatsoever.
Not at all.
Okay, for concluding our Y2K week, we've talked tech, we've talked fashion, we've talked mall food. What else is there to talk about? What else did we miss?
Y2K boy bands.
We sang that yesterday.
And rom-coms. I don't know why we stopped making good rom-coms.
I agree with you on that.
I don't even know what a rom-com is, so go on.
Well, we want to thank our friends from Sbarro's, from Cinnabon, and from Auntie Anne's for bringing us back to Y2K and bringing us back to the mall. We appreciate it. We did well.
We did a good job.
We appreciate it, guys.
With
All right.
very little help.
More news straight ahead. He's going to go do some hunting and gathering for lunch as we finish up everything else here.
They don't feed me here.
it's time to get kicking and screaming because the Kansas City Chiefs are coming into town this weekend. So can Big Blue keep the Chiefs on a losing streak? Wow. Have we said this before? Fox 5's new producer, sports producer Lou Albanese breaks this all down, kicking and screaming alike.
I was just the referee in the game just a couple minutes ago, and it's fitting because the only way the Giants win, and they're not going to win, is because they have no shot because of these guys. Go ahead, show who's going to determine the game. There they are, the referees, all paid off by the league, paid off by the Giants, down 10. Look, before the Giants even take the field, they're going to get penalized. They have no shot.
Okay,
there's no way the Chiefs, the league will allow the Chiefs to go 0-3.
I do agree with you on this, but what was your take on watching how the Giants played against the Cowboys?
They played great until
Sunday?
they blew the game at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the guy hit a 64-yard field goal. I fully understand that. It's an incredible shot. But you can't even get him close enough there. You got to stop him.
That's true.
That was a great touchdown to neighbors. I even cheered, and I don't even like the team. And here they are. They turn around, and they still find a way to lose. Now, this week, if you look at the standings today, it says Giants 0-3, even though they only played 2 games.
I saw that. Okay, so the thing is, you have right now, nobody wants to see the Chiefs lose 3 in a row. This is kind of unheard of.
No, look.
This is ruining their chances of going to the Super Bowl, of having Taylor Swift, who they already said may be a halftime performer.
The Chiefs, look, there's no drama here. No drama here.
Oh,
the Chiefs, no drama here.
Just conspiracy
There's
theories.
no drama here. The Chiefs are going to win. It's easy. Now, you know what is drama? College football. And you know who's the king of drama? Our kid from Vanderbilt. Because our kid from Vanderbilt finds ways to make games fun. So this was it. They played South Carolina, ranked team. They barely ranked teams. He makes a bet with his buddy, Theo Vaughn. Oh, and take a listen. Theo was on the sideline. And take a listen to what Theo said to the reporter. Go ahead, play it.
I don't even want to know what he told me about Diego Pavia's mom either. Like what? The way that I understand this story is that, maybe just give me a nod if this is okay. Diego Pavia wins this game. He promised you he would set you up with a date with his mom. Okay, there we go.
He's a nurse, and I've always wanted to. My goal is I would like to marry a nurse one day, so that's why I think smart.
Okay, wait, hold on. Let me give you the backstory of this. So the tweet that came out.
Right, so go ahead. Show them. Here we go. So they won the game.
Yeah.
Then they won the game, and Theo was so sure. He comes out a picture with that's
Diego Pavia's
That's Diego's mom. Right? We're a little harder on the mom, but there's a little twist. There's always a twist. There's never straight through. There's always a twist. There's a little catch. You can't. He told Theo, you can't date my mom unless you set me up with
Tate McRae.
Tate McRae.
Nobody knows. Tate McRae is like the hottest singer right now. The thing was, this is where it gets real funny because now Theo Vaughn went to Tate McRae's DMs and said,
"Yeah,
hey,
go ahead, guys, show it.
Hey, will you go on a date with my friend? This is what he looks like."
There you go. He goes to the thing. He direct messages her. Go to the friend. Blah 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 blah. And he adds the last line. What was the last line?
He said, "If you don't want to go on a date with him, I'll take you."
Yeah, there you go.
On a
So
date.
here he is. He wants to date everybody. He wants to date both of them.
Hey, Theo Vaughn's got to shoot his shot, and so does Diego
You know
Pavia.
what? Theo has a better chance. You know why? I know that Tate has a boyfriend now.
No,
whatever.
she's single.
She dumped that guy,
single.
right? She dumped that clown.
Yes.
Well, anyhow, show another guy. Show the next picture. She used to date this guy. That's Mike Sillinger.
I know.
And then you know why they broke up? Because they found out that he was on Tinder trying to pick up other girls. Your typical athlete, always trying to pick up other girls.
Hey, I think Diego Pavia's a great choice
No,
for
listen.
him. What
Once
a
you've been
standout
stuck,
kid.
once you've been slammed by one athlete, you're not going back. Theo, you have a shot. Diego, you're done. No athlete for her. Come on.
Diego,
you can't go back
shoot
to the
your shot.
athletes.
We want to see this as a power
You got
couple.
no shot.
Lou, we got to go. Stop talking a little ish
And by the
about
way,
our friend Diego. The Queen of Versailles
to
is
be
coming
fair,
to the big stage on Broadway.
He did admit he doesn't want to be Diego's
Next at
stepdad.
noon.
He did say that, though.
Our Ryan Christopher catches up with Broadway icon Kristen Chenoweth, who stars in The Leading Lady in the upcoming show. We got to take it to break because Lou's on a roll. He's going to keep going.
Yeah. I'll take him.
Broadway icon Kristen Chenoweth is headed back to the stage as a lead in The Queen of Versailles. She's portraying Jackie Siegel, who, with her late husband, attempted to build the largest private home in America, modeled after Versailles, but in Florida, though. Good Day's Ryan Christopher caught up with Chenoweth about her brand new role.
Action.
I'm Jackie Siegel. I'm building the largest private home in America.
Can we call you the Queen of New York? I mean, Queen of Versailles is cool, but Queen of New York, right?
I'd rather be Queen of New York.
All right.
Thank you.
Michael, can you crown her?
He crowns me
There you
every
go.
day at
There it is.
rehearsal.
Come on now.
I pay him $20 a day.
Oh, 20 bucks.
I have to do that every day. It's like in her contract.
You're running out of money here, my friend.
Yeah, I'm not that good of a mime.
All right, okay, fair enough, fair enough. Now, do you only take on roles where you wear pink?
It seems it.
What's up with that?
I don't know, but this is more champagne, if I may just clarify.
I understand that. I want to show you guys a photo from 2022. I interviewed the real life queen. Yep, this is the real deal, right?
Oh, and you even got a sash.
I was the queen there, I think, but
You sure were.
I got to know, because at the end of the interview, I said, your life sounds like a Broadway show. And she goes,
Believe it or not, there's something in the works.
for real? And then I jokingly was like, well, who's going to play you, Kristen Chenoweth? And she was like, and so, like,
kidding?
You knew. No, I swear. So to see this come to life here in New York City is, like, on a personal note, is super cool. What does this show mean to you? I know it was incredible in Boston, but you've been able to tighten up the show a little bit.
It's been amazing. I mean, this has been something we've completely built from the ground up, and of course it's based on a documentary, but it also delves into French history, pre-revolution, and Jackie's life before the documentary and since. I think it's unlike anything I have certainly seen on Broadway in a musical, possibly ever.
How has Jackie changed you for good? How has she and this story really impacted your life?
You know, Jackie has a very loving spirit, and I didn't know that. I kind of gathered that from her TV appearances, and then when I met her, I came to understand that that was the truth. You know, like any great musical theater, we have great leading ladies who are complicated, interesting, hopefully fun, tragic, and this character embodies all of that. And that's Jackie, because that is life. I'm just excited for the world to see what we've been working on for almost 5 years.
That's incredible that it's been in the works for that long. And let's talk about the music here in this show and the direction. Stephen Schwartz, it has to be a dream for the both of you to work with him again. So talk to me a little bit about what fans can expect on stage when it comes to the music.
It's definitely, I can say this with confidence, it's definitely Stephen Schwartz's most diverse score. What's being required of me vocally is all over the map. And I do that in concert, but 8 times a week in a character, living in a character is very special and different in and of its own right. So that's going to be the big challenge, and to stay healthy. I said this earlier, we couldn't, you know, this was Michael and Lindsay, our book writer, coming to me. And Stephen had threatened to write a musical for me since Wicked, and it was just the perfect coming together. This is the man, this is his vision, and this is a large reason, this person right here, is why I wanted to do the show.
Oh, very sweet. All right, the competition is on out in the new lot section of Brooklyn today. Next at noon, we're taking you to see the Senior Olympic Games featuring some older adult athletes.
books.
Well, the draft card that boxing legend Muhammad Ali refused to sign is going up for auction. Ali refused to sign his military draft card back in 1967 in protest of the Vietnam War. Now that card will go up for auction at Christie's auction house. The online sale for the card will be held from October 10th to the 28th, and a public display of the card is up at Rockefeller Center and will be shown until mid-October. That card is expected to cash in anywhere between $3 to $5 million. All right, that is our show. But before we go, here's one last thing to leave you with. It wasn't the Summer or Winter Olympics, but instead the Senior Olympics in Brooklyn today. And there was a whole lot of enthusiasm. They held the flags proudly for the opening ceremony at the Starrett City Older Adult Center in the New Lot section. Our cameras were there for the cornhole event. Officials at the center say that around 90 members of the center were out there competing. This event even had a medal ceremony for the winners. That is amazing. Love to see them out and being active. All right, we'll see you back here Monday. 25 words or less is next. And if you do want more news, tune into the Fox Local app streaming right now.
Hey everybody, Antoine Lewis. Welcome to Newsroom Live from the newsroom of Fox 5 Studios on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. Hope everyone is having a good Friday, a great Friday. So before, as we always do, before we get into the news, let's take a live look outside where, I don't know where you are right now, but we are having a stunning day here in the Apple. And as you look down at Lower Manhattan there, you can see we do have some clouds, but a lot of sunshine. I'll get more into weather in just a little bit. The first thing we want to do is, of course, talk about top stories. And one of the biggest stories that we're following right now is the continued fallout over ABC's suspension of the Jimmy Kimmel Live show. A lot of conversations are being had about implications and things like that. If you're unaware of what's been going on, this, of course, took place 2 nights ago. And the First Lady of New York City broadcasting, beat reporters Linda Schmidt, is over this. She's been covering this. And I want to bring Linda into the conversation now. She's also a very dear friend of mine. But Linda, a lot of discussions. You broke this story for us Tuesday night, Wednesday night.
Yeah, we've been covering it since it happened because it caught everybody by surprise. I mean, it really is a surprising thing. It sent shock waves really across the country because the issue here is freedom of speech, yes, which is the fabric of what this country was built on. Yep. It is the foundation of democracy. And so many feel that what happened by pulling Jimmy Kimmel's show, and again, he has not been canceled, right, he has been suspended indefinitely, that that is a threat against the First Amendment, right, and free speech. So we do have some video because, you know, there's a lot of fallout going on around the country, but there are demonstrations as well happening in various parts of the country that started yesterday and today. This right now is in Lower Manhattan. This is outside ABC's headquarters, and that's a Fox 5 crew that's down there shooting this. It's the Writers Guild Union. that is holding this demonstration, in addition to others. There are some other city leaders, state leaders, and that's one of the gentlemen that you're looking at right now. But what they are doing, they're blasting ABC and its owner Disney for suspending Jimmy Kimmel's show. We're going to have more for you on this coming up on the 4 o'clock news block, as well as the 5 o'clock news. But Deja, one of our colleagues here, let's go ahead and toss to that video of Jimmy Kimmel so that we can refresh everybody's, memory here about what's going on.
Right.
Now, some freedom of speech experts, in addition to comedians, late night talk show hosts, they are coming out, obviously, in full support of Jimmy Kimmel. Now, again, Disney, as you and I were just talking about, suspended his show indefinitely after comments that he made in his monologue on Monday night regarding the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
Right.
So critics are saying that Disney and media networks, that they're actually caving to the Trump administration, and the administration is censoring them at this point. So last night, you had several late night comedians. We all know who they are because we watch pretty much all of these folks, and including the folks that are on the Fox News channel. But anyway, they came out in support of Jimmy Kimmel. One of them, Jon Stewart, who is on Comedy Central, he was making fun of the president, who is currently in the UK, or who was in the UK.
Was in the UK, right.
He got back last night. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and go to that sound from them, what they were saying about this whole issue. And of course, they brought humor into it as well. So go ahead, Deja, roll that.
That Jimmy Kimmel was suspended by ABC after pressure from the FCC, leaving everyone thinking WTF. I don't know what's going on, and no one does, but I do know Jimmy Kimmel, and he's a decent, funny, and loving guy, and I hope he comes back.
And as part of this historic trip, the perfectly tinted Trump dazzled his hosts at dinner with a demonstration of unmatched oratory skill.
I just want to say before we get started here that I've always admired and respected Mr. Trump. I've always believed he was, a visionary, innovator, a great president, an even better golfer. And if you've ever seen me say anything negative about him, that's just AI.
Okay, Linda, before you continue,
I mean,
all were great.
You
couldn't help but laugh.
It's comedy.
It is comedy. It's interesting their take, on such a serious conversation. How did you process all of it, Linda?
Well, it's interesting because we do have the issue of free speech, but at what point do we cross the line of it being free speech and actually continuing to promote false information,
right?
Hate speech? So it's an issue that we are debating once again in this country. And I mean, Congress is taking a serious look at this again, in addition to people within the media. And comedians, that's what their job is.
Exactly.
Their job is to, in an entertaining way, basically make fun of everybody,
Poke fun,
including us.
Including us.
That's what their job is. But many say the late night shows have become too politically partisan, and that they hammer too much at one administration.
As
and here I'm
opposed-
talking
right.
about the Trump administration over and over and over and over and over. And that's what the president has been complaining about, is that it's always seems to be the Trump administration and not any of the other politicians, namely Democrats. So that's his argument.
Right.
But the whole issue of free speech, you're about to see a report here. This came down from the Fox News channel, and it goes into a little bit more detail and the nuances about what is being debated here.
Right.
Okay, and being fought for. Go ahead, Deja. Let's roll that. We don't have it? Okay.
Nonetheless,
alrighty.
Given the discourse that's going on right now, is this something that should have taken place maybe sooner? Because they've always poked fun, and even the first Trump administration, they poked fun. Do you think it's elevated now? Is that what the part of the debate?
Well, that's what the Trump administration is saying, is that he's constantly getting hammered. He was constantly hammered during his first administration, and now in his second administration, that they just really harp on him. And he says that Jimmy Kimmel has been especially bad with this, as well as Stephen Colbert. Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers, they do it as well, but he doesn't seem to think that they're as bad as the other two. Now, again, this is the Trump administration,
right,
and this is the president. But Seth Meyers, who works for NBC, Jimmy Fallon, who works for NBC, the president posted on his social media, Truth Social,
right,
I believe it was yesterday, saying, look, ABC finally did what it needed to do. It made a tough decision by suspending Jimmy Kimmel, and that he was pushing for NBC to do the same thing with Jimmy Fallon. And yeah, here we are right here. Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what it had to be done. And then he goes on to say that leaves Jimmy and Seth, two total losers on fake NBC News. Their ratings are also horrible. Do it, NBC, with 3 exclamation points. So he thinks that they should be pulled at least temporarily as well, because he thinks that he is being unfairly targeted. In addition, what he believes is that, I'm sorry, what do we have that package?
That's the one you were talking about.
In just one moment, we're going to go to that package. But anyway, the president feels that they are just constantly targeting him, and it's not fair and equal play when it comes to the Democrats. So now we have that story from the Fox News Channel about this debate on free speech. So we're going to go ahead and roll that.
Well, this controversy has been brewing through the course of the week, and ABC decided to take action just as Jimmy Kimmel was getting ready for air. It's hard to make out, but that, we believe, is Jimmy Kimmel making a low-key exit after his late-night show was abruptly pulled yesterday, just as audience hopefuls were already lined up.
Now we're going to have to find something else to do at 11:35 every night.
It was all driven by Kimmel's take earlier this week on the death of political activist Charlie Kirk.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points from.
That suggestion of a left-wing theory that the accused assassin, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, was a right-wing Trump supporter is not supported by the evidence gathered by investigators who have said Robinson's own family said otherwise. And it was enough to trigger a revolt from a large group of ABC stations around the country, leading the network to pull the plug.
Late night shows, something's gone seriously awry there.
FCC Chairman Brendan Carr had threatened to take action if something wasn't done.
I'm very glad to see that America's broadcasters are standing up to serve the interests of their community. We don't just have this progressive foie gras coming out from New York and Hollywood.
This is just despicable, disgusting, and against democratic values.
The Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer blamed the Trump administration for an attack on free speech. The president, though, was thrilled, posting on Truth Social, "Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done." Now, ABC has not said at this point that Kimmel has been canceled, only that his show is off the air indefinitely. In Washington, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
My thought is, well, if we're now suspending or canceling, as has been the case, with these two, then what does that say about the future of late night television, which a lot of us turn to, to get away, to give us some sort of breathing room from national headlines?
Well, what's really interesting, Antoine, and you and I think, have had this conversation in the past, is that fewer people are watching late night television. I mean, the ratings have been deteriorating for years now, which means that they can't make the money that they need to make. They can't generate the revenue to support keeping it on the air. So I spoke with an expert earlier this week who basically said eventually late night television is going to fade away the way that we know it. And it's interesting as well because there's a new poll out. The Associated Press did this poll, and you might find this interesting. I did. That is, who's watching late night talk shows? First of all, only about a quarter of Americans actually watch the late night talk shows. Only about a quarter of Americans. And most of those who watch on a routine basis are Democrats. Now, that is a poll by the Associated Press. So, new information coming out every day about this.
Linda, the pleasure is always mine anytime we get to get your knowledge thrust upon us like that. So thank you for being in here and staying on top of this story.
I always
You've
love
got a
being with
busy
you.
day.
Yes.
You've got a
You
busy
too.
day.
You too, mister.
We will. All right. The First Lady, absolutely she is, Linda Schmidt, everybody. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back. All right, 1:16 on your Friday afternoon. Antoine Lewis with you from the newsroom at Fox 5 Studios on the Upper East Side. Happy Friday, everyone. Time to talk sports. We always want to bring in our sports producer, Lou Albanese, with us. He has a thought on his mind when we're talking about week 3.
One or two.
Week 3 of the NFL.
And also tonight, the Liberty.
Oh, yeah.
We talk about game 3 and do or die
Okay.
for both teams. You know, this is it.
They're
They have
taking
to
on the
win.
Mercury.
And without her, if she's not healthy, I hate to say it, but I don't think they're going to beat them. I mean, they need, and I don't think
That's
she can
Stewie.
play. Stewie. Beyond Stewart, without her, they're going to have a problem. And what was it, Wednesday, the Mercury, they just ran him off the court. They
Mhm.
ran him off the court, and Stewie she's playing with a sprained MCL
Right.
in her knee. And with that, it's an injury that you usually like out for months.
I was about to say.
You're out for months. And now she's trying to play through it, which is really impossible. And I give her all the credit in the world for trying to do that, but it's not really an injury you play through. And you see how slow she was getting back there.
Mhm.
And the rest of the team, without the big three, listen, I hope they come out strong. This girl right here, Natasha Cloud, they
Yes.
need a big game from her, and she did not come up big. She had a big game 1. But without that, they're going to have problems.
What about
tonight. It's gonna
Jonquil?
They're all very good, but as a group, they're unbeatable.
Mhm.
The problem is once one goes down, you've seen it all year long, they struggle. And that's a struggle, especially Stewart. Because she is, that one right there, she is the most important one.
Got it. All right, your other favorite subject, let's talk about the Jets.
Let's talk the Jets. And, you know, look, they played well on last 2 Sundays ago when they played the Steelers. But that guy right there, he's got a lot to learn. And he talks a good game,
Mhm.
Aaron Glenn, the new
Okay.
coach, but it's not coming across to the players. And what you got there right now,
They're 0-2.
they're 0-2
Right.
and falling fast. Buffalo just ran them off the field. Literally ran them off the field. And now they're going to play this week without this man. Justin Fields, he has a concussion. He left the game on Sunday, and no guarantee when he's going to be back, but he's not playing this week.
Because he's now under concussion protocol. Right.
And he's out. He's been ruled out. But here's the problem. Tyrod Taylor is a good backup, but Tyrod Taylor gets hurt every time he takes the field. So the chance of him getting through the game is slim to none. And with no other backup on the team, the quarterback position, they're going down to Tampa. And Tampa, Baker Mayfield, now that's a tough guy. And I don't see them coming back here with a win. I don't see it.
Giants and Chiefs.
Yeah. Go ahead, play the Giants for me. All right. This was last week. And look how good Russell Wilson was. Look how good Russell Wilson was. Look at that pass. Ah, beautiful pass. He made multiple passes just like that. And this should have been the game.
Right.
25 seconds left. Should be over. But not the Giants. They don't know how to be over. So they give up a long field goal, 64 yards. They go to overtime, and now Russell Wilson goes back to being Russell Wilson that we know and love. Chucking it up again, and there was nobody in sight.
Right.
He gets picked off, gives them a chance. But this week, this is it. That's the game-winning field goal. But this week, forget about it. They're playing the Chiefs.
Who are struggling right
who
now.
are 0-2.
Right.
There is no way the NFL is going to allow the Chiefs to go 0-3. All right? They already have, if you look at the standings right now in the paper, Antoine, it has everyone else 0-2, 1-1. Giants already have 0-3 because they know it's done.
They already know.
They already know. Every referee, before they take the field, when they're doing warm-ups, referees are going to be throwing their flags. So there's no way the league is not going to make sure that Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce are not going to go 0-3. It's not going to happen.
It would be a nice surprise should that be the case, though.
If that happens, then there actually is a Santa Claus.
Like that. You had an interesting segment on the noon today with Bianca. Where's Bianca? Step on in, B. You're right here. You know, our noon and 6 anchor Bianca. You know,
put my glasses on just because
she's
obviously
there.
it's professional here.
That's right. That's right. Very professional.
Like
Let's talk
that.
about it.
You know, but what did you all do that we want to make sure that we get highlights on with the pizza and the?
This was our official ref.
That's right. That was
because
the referee. That's why I'm in black.
God knows that in real life she should not ref anything.
No,
but
not at all. Not at all.
But he refed our mall food challenge. We had to pick Auntie Anne's, Sbarro's, Cinnabon, and paste them on the right side of like Pin the Tail on the Donkey food court challenge.
Exactly.
Let's just say he should not ref any games
turned
in real
around
life.
and I was nice. I said hot, cold, and at one point I said, well, you did it twice. You figured out where the first two were. I'm not going to give you hot, cold, and they almost fell off the stage.
Yeah, we watched that.
They almost fell off the stage, so I finally had to say hot, cold because otherwise we would have lost the anchor right off the stage.
Do you also realize how how loud he just got right now.
Yeah. But that's how he talks anyway.
What's going on with you?
Look, so wait, are you going to post it so people that didn't get to see it, you know, that
Oh my
they
gosh.
can? You're going to do that, right?
We'll
Okay.
absolutely post it.
All right. So
And
definitely that.
maybe they'll show it again on the 4 o'clock news.
This too is the odd couple, and it just absolutely works. Kicking and screaming. Is it every Friday or
Every Friday?
Every Friday.
Every
you know,
Friday.
in our
And we all
news
know
show.
who's kicking, who's screaming.
Exactly.
We know
He's always
exactly who.
screaming.
He's always screaming.
Bring it down a
I
notch.
try to talk very low. But
It
no one
doesn't
listens.
work.
It
does
doesn't
not
work.
work.
It's just
All
not my
right.
personality.
Look,
Right.
Adasia, my producer's rapping us, you know, like that. So we're going to take a quick break, everybody, and we'll be right back with more news, more headlines.
Them, I'm hoping they understand it before it's too late. If we allow those policies that PSA and Joanne is trying to implement.
And current mayor Eric Adams, who's running for re-election in the fall, is actually at an event. We want to go there live and just take a listen into what he's saying.
Fall in line, but to say we have to make sure that we stand up for the country. Yes, ma'am.
So earlier this week we were talking about when we later found out that was really terribly symptomatic here that there was is that why you think that up? Better than
No, and I said it in response to Joanne stating that I'm trying to embrace the policies of Donald Trump. No, I'm embracing the policies of Darby Allen. I'm not quite sure why people think it's all right for a young man in high school to go into a shower with young girls. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense to me. It's not safe. It's not safe for a young girl to go into a shower with young boys on. And so my beliefs are just rooted in how I was raised, common sense. It's just not right. And we need to stop trying to be so politically correct and think about what we're doing for our children. It's saying if it's necessary.
Okay, that was Mayor Eric Adams. Very interesting point right there. He was taking a question about gender-neutral restrooms in public schools, and he was, just as you heard, explaining his thoughts on it, saying that he did not support that. A lot of conversations back and forth on that. But let's just do a recap as we talk politics of where everyone who's running for New York City mayor is doing today. We want to start with Democratic candidate and the nominee on the Democratic ticket, Zohran Mamdani. He's actually campaigning in Manhattan later today. He's going to be endorsed, we understand, by New York State Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart-Cousins. Now, this afternoon, Republican candidate in the red beret right there, Curtis Sliwa, will be campaigning in Union Square near the Gandhi statue. This afternoon, independent candidate and former Governor Andrew Cuomo will be attending a prayer service at a mosque in Jamaica, Queens. And as you just saw, Mayor Adams is campaigning at an elderly care facility in the Bronx. Now, for more in-depth coverage of the race for mayor, we want you to keep it right here on this app for Politics Unusual. That's at 6:30 tonight with our Morgan McKay. She does a great job with that. And you can also catch Battleground NYC, the Fight for Your Vote, hosted by SE Cup. That streams every weeknight at 7 on the Fox Local app. We'll be doing so from now until Election Day. Also, let's now talk a little bit. There it is right there. You can get both of those right here on the Fox Local app. Okay, the other news coming out of politics, the president is having a conversation, or has had a conversation, with China's President Xi Jinping. And this is over the future of TikTok. So here's what's going on. White House officials say that the president had a phone call around 8 this morning with President Xi. The two are expected to finalize a deal that will allow TikTok to continue operating in the States. Now, Mr. Trump has threatened to ban TikTok unless its parent company, which is China-based, sells its controlling interest to American investors. Now, the White House has extended the deadline for that to happen at least 4 times, and despite the strained relationships at the moment between the two countries, Trump has actually expressed a willingness to negotiate. Take a listen.
It helped get me elected.
It sounds like they've approved TikTok. And TikTok
One at a time, it did.
Tremendous amount of money
I'm
for
all
the
for it.
United States. So that was nice.
That's what I'm saying.
But we'll see how that all works.
I think we're doing a great job in this city of making sure.
Okay, so again, that was the president weighing in on that. Now, there are rumors that Oracle, the tech company, could actually be one of the ones interested in operating it. I'm actually working on that story, and we'll have the very latest for you coming up on our next news at 4. And Deja, my producer, is giving me a look, and we are about to bring you, we still got the dog neighborhood? We're looking for that. So while what we're trying to do, we had this conversation. Jennifer Williams did a story on where in New York City is the best neighborhood for dogs. We know we love our four-legged friends, and dogs in particular. And so we want to play this package for you. Take a listen and check this out.
3 Easy named the top 10 neighborhoods for dog lovers. The Upper West Side easily made the cut.
Right, you got Central Park, you got Riverside Park, you got Dog Park here, Dog Park 10 blocks north. You know, I think in terms of greenery,
I have
space,
to take
dog-friendly, like established place to have a dog in Manhattan, like easily.
I think it's probably the proximity to the park here and the fact that you can sort of walk out your front door and be out in nature very quickly. It's great for them. And he gets to chase all the squirrels he wants.
Well, we love that there are parks on both sides of the neighborhood and you can go kind of in any direction and get some good time outside up here.
Really the nature of people who live here is that we love living creatures who need to be loved as we do.
Pet expert Adrienne Arden says the list is pretty spot on.
I've had a dog training business in New York City for over 35 years, and I would say that we pretty consistently see those neighborhoods being the spots where they are sort of like in the best sense of the word, the hot zones for pet parents.
Other neighborhoods who earn the honor include Dumbo, Long Island City, Astoria, and Mott Haven. The list was created by looking at the amount of pet-friendly units available, number of registered dog licenses, and access to dedicated dog parks and dog runs.
New York City dog people are really, really focused on making sure they give their pets the best quality of life possible. And I think part of that is they make an effort every day to make sure their dogs have really nice social encounters when appropriate, and that they give them walks that are really enriching, and that includes going to local parks.
Just like sitting at a dog park and relaxing is like a serotonin boost because you got the cute puppies and dogs that just come around and just like, what's not to love, right? Like dogs everywhere. It's a dream. It's like, this is what heaven looks like, right?
All right, Jennifer Williams there. You let us know what your favorite neighborhoods are. But that's going to do it for Newsroom Live, everybody. I'm Antoine Lewis. Have a safe Friday. Have a safe...
Thanks for watching Fox 5 New York. We're now joining live now from Fox.
As I mentioned, is representing himself. So how does that change maybe the dynamics in the courtroom when you talk about Judge Cannon, the cross-examination of acquaintances? These are people that Routh knows.
Yeah, I mean, it's really impacted just about every aspect of this trial, going all the way back to jury selection and opening statements, and most recently, clashing with Judge Cannon over this Dear World letter. He cross-examined the Plata brothers, who were the acquaintances that he left the kill box with. So cross-examining them himself over the contents of that kill box. And it seemed as though his attempted strategy there was to challenge their recall over time. But again, it doesn't really seem to have had much effect on that.
What should we expect as the prosecution once again is expected to wrap later on today? What do we expect as we move on to the defense?
So, prosecution's likely going to arrest today. They've already kind of made that clear. It sounds like they're going to call maybe a few more expert witnesses, some ballistics experts, as well as maybe some FBI agents. Once they rest, it's Ralph's turn, right? And he's going to be expected to possibly bring some firearms experts and possibly some character witnesses himself. But the biggest question that everyone wants to know is if he's going to take the stand himself. Now, that is usually a really bad idea in any criminal trial. And I'm not going to say it's a good idea here. At the same time, it's hard to believe that he could dig his hole any deeper than he already has. And given everything that we've seen, it's hard for me to imagine that he won't take the stand. I mean, this is his last opportunity to tell his story his way, albeit challenged and likely limited to a great deal by Judge Cannon. And of course, if he takes the stand, he's going to expose himself to very damaging cross-examination by the prosecutors who are trained to do this. But in a real world, in a real sense, you kind of have to ask, what does he have to lose at this point if he does take the stand?
Well, and that's what you have to think about because he's representing himself. So he's already speaking there. Now, granted, as you mentioned, he's going to be cross-examined there. He will have to actually speak with prosecutors. They can go into a lot of different topics there. So it's kind of left to see exactly how all of this is going to play out. Dan Garrell, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here and help discuss this. Again, this is a huge case, so we're keeping an eye on it, and it's not quite clear yet when it will go to the jury. We'll, of course, keep everyone updated. Anything else you want to add? Anything we missed here before I let you go?
This is a case that clearly would have gotten more attention, I believe, if it hadn't been for other very big stories. I think we all know the ones that I'm referring to. But again, it is still a very important story, and it's going to set a lot of precedents, not only on presidential security, but also how courtrooms are maintained. You've got a judge that has to not only maintain order in the courtroom, but she also has to keep an eye out for and preserve Ralph's his rights at a time where he kind of appears to be his own worst enemy.
All right, Dan, thank you again for taking the time to join us as always. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Josh.
And of course, as I mentioned, we're going to make sure to keep an eye on the trial as it does continue. The prosecution expected to rest. And the big question here, will Ryan Ralph take the stand? No cameras allowed in courtrooms, but reporters are there, so they'll make sure to bring you all of the updates, and we'll pass them along on Live Now from Fox. We're going to head to a quick 2-minute commercial break, but a lot more live news to get to coming up here in just a few. Stay with us on Live Now. Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox, 1:36 on the East Coast and 10:36 on the West Coast. I do want to get back to a big story that we have been following with the help of our Fox 13 Seattle team, as it appears that the remains of Travis Decker have been found less than a mile from where he's accused of killing his 3 daughters. Now, at this point, the investigation continues, but again, the sheriff does believe his body has been found. I do want to bring in Frankie Thompson there with Fox 13 Seattle. And Frankie, what is the latest information here? Because this is all developing here over the past several hours.
Absolutely, and things are continuing to progress in this investigation. Where we are standing right now in the city of Leavenworth, just south of here in the woods, that is where the Chelan County Sheriff's Office found the remains, presumably of Travis Decker. Now, deputies, the search crew, they were doing their regular grid-to-grid search routines, and they stumbled across these remains. Now, they were pretty severely decomposing, and so the crew had to send those remains to the state crime lab for a DNA analysis. But the sheriff here, he is saying he's pretty confident those remains belong to Travis Decker, the man accused of kidnapping and murdering his own young daughters. The sheriff thinks it's Travis Decker because of the personal items that were found near the remains, the clothing that was found near the remains. All of that is pointing to Decker. But again, they are waiting for confirmation from the state crime lab to confirm and positively ID those remains. So that is what we are waiting on right now. In the meantime, you can find the Chelan County Sheriff's Office and Washington State Patrol investigating that crime scene once again. They're taking a closer look of where the remains were found, seeing if they can get any bit more information as this investigation unfolds. And so we are closely monitoring that as well as any details come in. We're giving that to you all. We're giving that to our audience as well, because so many people have been invested in every single step of this investigation, Josh.
Yeah, watching it very, very closely. And I know that folks have spoken with the sheriff. Has he announced if he plans to hold any sort of news conference or provide any more information than what we know so far?
So we are working our sources right now. We're told as early as today we could